Well, don't have a breakdown. Try liquid palm olive automatic. It pours easily, rinses clean, and works without shaking, caking, or making powder residue. For dishes so clean, you'll feel like celebrating. Get palm olive automatic in new lemon, too, and break away from powders.
Who made Royal Lepage Canada's #1 name in real estate?
You know!
You did.
You know!
Because you know what our people can do.
You know! Yes, you know what our people can do for you. You know!
So many Canadians put their trust in our professionals.
You know!
Royal Lepage sells a home every 9 minutes, every day of the year.
You know! Yes, you know that it's true. What our people can do. You know!
Royal Lepage, you made us #1.
You know what our people can do.
You can feel it. You can feel it. I can feel it. You can feel the cottony softness makes cottonelle right for my family. You can feel it. Cottony softness. It's as simple as that. Feel the cottony softness.
Marcel Mast tells a Commons committee studying election spending that he didn't do anything wrong. The full story is next on The World Tonight.
Wonderfully wild and wacky, the all-new late-night show, Hit Squad. It features real people in real situations. Be watching for tonight following Sportsline. Now, stay tuned for The World Tonight. Coming up next, right here on Global.
Vernon standing there. Colbert in there again. He's playing well in his first All-Star game. Bob Colbert now centered one. Howard Chuck is in the spot that they had a real chance, and Howard Chuck turns around and fires it in front. 1:07 to go before we hit overtime. 3-3. And it does get him going here in St. Louis. Off and dig it out. Kept in by Muller. Stoppy. Took a shot. Rebound. That's blocked. 3 seconds left. They nearly did it. Time runs out in the 39th annual All-Star game. 5-5. Don't leave us. We'll return with overtime in this All-Star game in just a moment.
Ford Tempo and Mercury Topaz aerodynamic styling. That's car talk for That's car talk for air conditioning. That's car talk for AM, FM electronic stereo. You get all this for just this.
In all the frozen and faraway places, at all the lonely hours, day or night, there's a Tony Thompson, striving to push a black puck on white ice toward the goal. Esso retailers are involved in hockey from beginners to Olympians, for all the Tonys and Michaels and Lindas, because service to the community stopped at the gas pump.
This has been a marvelous night for the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. Mario Lemieux and, of course, Luc Robitaille both starring in this contest. 5-5, the Wales and the Campbell headed for overtime. Two games have been decided in OT. Trottier scored an overtime winner for the Wales in 1986, and Gilbert Perreault scored in 1978. You'd remember that one.
Yes, I was coaching. The game was in Buffalo, and I think Phil Esposito deflected a puck in his own net, and we had outshot them about 40-12. Billy Smith was the outstanding player in that game.
We sat, Scotty, for a few minutes here this evening thinking this would be a nice hockey game. It's become a tough hockey game in the last 10 minutes anyway.
Well, I think the bragging rights we saw in the last 10 minutes of this game, typical real NHL game, and, you know, there was contact and everything else, and like Harry said, we're into overtime, and boy, it's great that the best players are playing at this level.
A real significant point. The city of St. Louis almost lost this franchise in the early 1980s. Saskatoon wouldn't have been a bad place for an NHL team, but St. Louis got to keep the team, and the National Hockey League's got to be pleased. The fans here are rewarded with a terrific game. It's 5-5. We're headed for overtime. Here's Bob Cole.
Okay, Ron, they're lining up for overtime here in St. Louis. 5-5 the score. This one could end in a hurry. So stand by, stay with us. And right after the game is over, when a goal is scored, of course, we'll have the Molson 3 stars for you. Lemieux with 5 points.
It's over. That contest is over. This one isn't, but that one is.
Up to center ice. That's Neely trying to go in. One man back to Gretzky. Hard pass to handle that one. Wicked pass from Curry at the far side. Lemieux scores! Lemieux adds to the record. And no doubt wins the most scoring to give the Wales a 6-5 win over the Kent.
And there is Mario Lemieux's fiancé, and this guy wouldn't stop. And in overtime, after taking a nice pass from Mats Naslund in a real crowd, shoot it. The guy's got a stick right under his chin. Concentration, and poor Mike Vernon is at the mercy.
This is just a fantastic.
He will be the most valuable player in this league this year.
So it's over. 6-5 the score. Wales win it. And we'll return with more on tonight's All-Star game in a moment.
Hamster brain, hamster, hamster.
For life's everyday problems, there's nothing like the Regina Home Minutes a Day will help relax your muscles.
Anna Dixon has dreams of the Olympics.
Been up all night again?
But not as an athlete. As a Canadian women's figure skating coach, she works hard. At 3M, we understand Olympic dreams don't happen alone. When you buy official 3M or Scotch brand products, 3M will make a contribution to Olympic coaching.
Great routine. Hope it didn't take too long. No, all in a day's work.
3M, supporting the dream.
6-5, the final score. The Wales Conference is now 10 for 12. Mario Lemieux was obviously the star of this hockey game. As game MVP, he receives a truck, and the #1 Molson star. Our Molson 3 stars, Lemieux is first, the second star in this evening's game. Mats Naslund of the Montreal Canadiens, and the third star tonight from the Los Angeles Kings, last year's Calder Trophy winner, Luc Robitaille, who scored a pair. An impressive performance for Lemieux, to be sure. His 6 points in this evening's game is a new All-Star game record, but Mats Naslund would have also broken first. The Wales Conference wins it by a goal. Scotty, this game really was a reflection of talent that has come into this league since '67 when you had a chance to be part of the expansion.
It sure has, and, you know, we don't have a better league for Mario Lemieux to go up in, and, you know, what he did in the Canada Cup, now it's in an All-Star game, and what a great show for the people of St. Louis. So, you know, everybody went away happy, I'm sure. Even the ones that were on that losing team knew, boy, what a hockey player this guy is.
Mario Lemieux continues to rise, especially when in the company of great players, and he did it again, the game-winning goal, Scotty, and perhaps a thought here.
Well, his reach, what a hockey player.
Now, the Patrick division is very close. People assume that with Mario Lemieux and Paul Coffey, how can the Penguins go wrong? Do you concur?
Well, you think so. They missed Paul when he was out for about a month. His record is very strong when he's playing. The team has done very well, but they're in a dogfight. And also we could mention Zarli Zalapski. He's an outstanding talent. So, but, you know, we mentioned the Patrick division. 2 teams have to miss in that division, and that's a problem I think the league will have to look at because, you know, it's going to go down the wire. But I'd bet on Lemieux.
How about a quick thought on some of the highlights you had personally? We see a performance like this. You obviously would have seen some great performances by star players in previous All-Star games. Can you think of one off the cuff?
Yes, there's a lot of fond memories, and, you know, you have to go with Gretzky's 4 goals in 1 period. But I think for myself, personally, Gordie Howe making a return to Detroit at the Joe Louis Arena, contributing an assist. He was his last All-Star game, and at the age he was, and, of course, we won the game, so that made it all the more enjoyable.
And how about, as a coach, what's the feeling when you win a game like this?
You have the bragging rights, naturally. It's a carryover from the year before, and with Mike Keenan, he's probably hoping that he could maybe trade one of these victories in for a Stanley Cup victory. I'm sure he's looking ahead, so it's a good feather in the cap of any coach to win a game, but you really don't do much coaching. You're doing cheering.
Our thanks to Scotty Bowman for his thoughts. You'll be able to hear Scotty this weekend, as well as all of our commentators. 3 games on Hockey Night in Canada from Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver. The final here this evening, the Whales over the Campbells by a score of 6-5 from St. Louis. Thanks for watching, and good night.
Live on CBC, Hockey Night in Canada. Brought to you by Molson Canadian. Taste that'll stop you cold. By Esso, suppliers of Esso no-trouble gasoline for winter. And by Ford of Canada, where quality is more than a commitment. Quality is job one.
Au départ par Neslund et le maître qui vient compléter le jeu.
Qu'est-ce qui est important de remarquer, Gilles, c'est qu'il a pris son temps. Il a reçu la rondelle, il n'a pas paniqué. Il avait un hockey accroché après son chandail. Il a quand même pris son temps pour de jouer le gardien.
Il le fait sur 2-3 buts ce soir. Je me souviens, lorsqu'on a parlé d'un moment d'hésitation, on l'avait au ralenti supérieur. Cette dernière séquence, encore une fois, le dernier but. L'autre, après avoir complètement sorti Vernon.
Comme Wayne Gretzky fait, il endort l'adversaire. Et
avec ses feintes, il crée ses propres ouvertures. Un physique des plus imposants, bon manieur de bâton, essayez de lui trouver des défauts.
Eh bien, il nous a donné tout un spectacle, messieurs, et je vous remercie de votre collaboration. Ça rend la vie d'un commentateur beaucoup plus facile. Et comme vous avez tous les deux été joueurs dans la Ligue nationale, je suis sûr que vous avez bien apprécié tous les deux cette magnifique performance de Mario Lemieux.
Bravo, ensemble, on a tous le même but, on vise le sommet. Ensemble, on pense avec fierté à cet événement.
Toutes les voitures et tous les camions fournis pour les Jeux Olympiques d'hiver 1988 de Calgary seront construits avec fierté par GM.
Toujours, toujours, on vise le sommet. Ensemble, en ce temps est arrivé. Encore une fois, nous allons célébrer.
L'amitié entre les peuples, voilà le véritable esprit olympique. Et nous y contribuons depuis 60 ans. Coca-Cola, symbole universel d'amitié.
Depuis longtemps, la marque Caterpillar représente ce qu'il y a de mieux sur le chantier. C'est pourquoi cette rétrocaveuse est championne à tout point de vue. Elle fait partie de la nouvelle gamme de rétrocaveuses 4. Toutes sont économiques et possèdent en option une garantie de 3 ans sur le groupe propulseur. Et actuellement, vous pouvez profiter d'un taux de financement de 7,9 % seulement. Informez-vous de son prix et vous pouvez gagner cette fourgonnette General Motors. Vite, courez chez votre concessionnaire Caterpillar. Vous avez tout à gagner.
La marque finale, conférence Prince de Galles 6, conférence Clarence Campbell 5, en prolongation un but de qui d'autre que Mario Lemieux. Denis Potvin est avec nous en studio, ainsi que Patrick Roy, le gardien de but vainqueur. Denis, c'est votre 9e match des étoiles. Je pense que ça a été le meilleur.
Oh, absolument. C'était certainement le meilleur match dont j'ai participé.
Parce que c'était ouvert, mais tout de même, c'était un jeu excellent, un jeu de passe, les gardiens, c'était excellent.
Mais c'était pas un match pour les gardiens de but, hein, Patrick?
On va dire, j'ai rarement vu des matchs aussi ouverts, mais comme Denis disait, c'était du beau hockey. Les gars essayaient là, des belles passes, et pas des jeux là, banals.
Vous avez, Patrick, 2 échappées de Marc Messier contre vous. Vous avez arrêté les 2 et presque une échappée de Wayne Gretzky.
Bien, écoute, ça a bien été de ce côté-là. J'ai fait 2 bons arrêts. Disons, j'ai mis les chances de mon côté, puis Messier a fait des bons lancers. Et on aurait pu compter facilement lui aussi.
Denis, est-ce que c'est le meilleur joueur? Ah ben, c'est embêtant de vous demander ça, mais est-ce que c'est le meilleur joueur de hockey que vous avez vu, ça, Mario Lemieux?
Mais comme tu dis, c'était embêtant. J'en ai vu plusieurs.
Parce qu'il y a Mike Bossy qui travaillait avec nous ce soir, qui n'était pas mauvais dans son
Moi, j'ai eu la chance là, de jouer avec des excellents joueurs de hockey, des gars qui potaient. Hein? Mike Bossy, Trottier, tous ces gars-là, on a eu des bonnes carrières, mais dans le moment, il faut dire que je pense que le joueur qui domine le hockey, même encore plus que Gretzky, c'est Mario. Il est si gros, si fort, puis il amène une différente dimension au jeu de hockey, comme Gretzky le fait. Alors, il faut regarder à Mario pour le futur.
Et c'était beau de voir aller Martinez-Lund, hein? Parce que le record était de 4 points au cours des matchs d'étoiles. Et ce soir, Neslund l'a amélioré, il y a 5 passes.
Je pense que Matt il a démontré là, que c'était tout un joueur de hockey. Et puis c'est le fun que ce soit un joueur du Canadien qui est la 2e étoile.
C'est pour ça qu'on vous a invité, parce que vous avez aussi, Patrick, une excellente performance. Je pense que ça va vous donner confiance ça, pour le reste de la saison. Hein?
Bien, je pense que les 3, ça va nous donner confiance. Matt, Larry et moi. Et puis je pense que des gens de game de même, c'est bon, ça change un petit peu là, la saison. À un moment donné, ça vient un peu à la normale. Tu prends une autonomie et puis ça change. Et puis je pense que ça fait du bien dans une saison, une soirée de même.
Oui, puis les gens au Québec doivent être fiers parce qu'il y avait quand même 8 joueurs de la Ligue junior majeure du Québec ce soir, dont Patrick, Mario Lemieux naturellement.
Je pense qu'il ne faut pas oublier non plus la performance de Luc Robitaille qui a compté des buts. Et puis c'est un excellent joueur là.
Denis Savard.
Exactement, oui, encore moins.
Alors si on en avait plusieurs par année comme ça, il y en a quelques-uns, mais comme celui de ce soir, c'était vraiment un match exceptionnel, un match extraordinaire.
Je pense que tout le monde a aimé le match. Je pense que les partisans ne demanderont pas d'être remboursés.
Denis, c'est votre dernier. Ça va nous faire de la peine que vous preniez votre retraite à la fin de la saison.
Bien, il faut prendre la retraite quelque temps.
Je pense que vous êtes encore bon.
Ah, bien, je vous remercie beaucoup. C'est un grand plaisir de jouer à soir, en jouer avec les joueurs, là, les grandes étoiles de la Ligue nationale dans le moment. Et les joueurs, je vais les voir jouer durant les prochaines années. Alors, c'est vraiment un plaisir pour moi.
Denis, si vous aviez un conseil à donner à Patrick qui en est à son premier match, ce serait quoi?
Continue, mon vieux, faire même chose. Change rien.
Oui, Mario Lemieux.
C'est agréable de l'avoir dans le même uniforme, hein?
Bien, pour ce soir, oui. Disons que j'aurais aimé ça l'avoir dans mon uniforme dans la ligne, mais c'est pas grave. On ne l'affronte pas trop souvent.
Merci, Patrick. Félicitations encore une fois. Une excellente performance. Denis, bonne fin de saison. Et à la fin de la saison, tout le monde vous applaudira lorsque vous accrocherez votre chandail.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci, Denis. Merci, Patrick. Dans quelques instants, Lionel Duval s'entretiendra avec Mike Bossy pour le mot de la fin.
Non, mais ça se peut-tu? De quoi j'avais l'air? Moi, j'en veux. Je te dis qu'on change. Hein? Et puis, il y a certaines choses qui s'améliorent tout le temps, comme le goût de la gomme Trident. Aujourd'hui, la
prochain, de façon à coïncider avec...
The government says a new abortion...
Living Olympic Daybreak. First in the morning with 6 hours of complete Olympic highlights every day. Interviews that spotlight all of Canada's medal hopes and reports that follow the 15th Olympic Winter Games all the way to the closing ceremonies. All 10 Olympic sports are highlighted, plus demonstration sports like freestyle skiing and curling. Olympic Daybreak begins February 14th. TSN will take you every step of the way.
$11 games in the NBA on Tuesday night, one featuring a battle of Midwest Division rivals, the Utah Jazz and the Dallas Mavericks. The Jazz...
We're all on the ice today, and maybe by next week. Martin, the former Binghamton Whalers, signed 2 weeks ago, and he's waiting for a knee brace. Last year's sticking incident with Jim Hofford, he says, has been forgotten.
Oh, I think so. Everybody's been great so far. I'm just happy to be here, and I haven't really skated with the team that much. It's the first time today, so it's kind of tough, you know, a new guy on the team and everything, but I think everything's going good so far. I'm really happy to be here.
No problems with Jimmy?
No problem.
A casting agent was taking VCR portraits of the Amherst today. Heilemann Old Style Beer out of Chicago wants to shoot a TV ad with a hockey theme and has been scouting cities and teams throughout the minors. If Rochester is selected, 3,000 extras will be needed as fans. Buffalo got the natural at the old War Memorial. Rochester's War Memorial could get the beer ad. One game in the AHL tonight, Fredericton over Newmarket, 11-3. In college hockey tonight at Brockport, the Golden Eagles...
To be a fit cabinet minister in that he certainly has...
Je pense que les grands gagnent. Évidemment, c'est le public qui a assisté toute une performance ce soir.
Exactement. Et quoi de mieux pour promouvoir le hockey au Québec et au Canada qu'une performance de Mario Lemieux, Denis Savard, Luc Robitaille, tous les joueurs, Patrick Roy, tous les joueurs qui ont sorti de la Ligue junior majeure du Québec et qui connaissent des excellentes carrières dans la Ligue nationale.
Il y a même eu Howard Chuck aussi qui a joué dans la Ligue majeure du Québec à Cornwall.
Oui, exactement.
Mike, un match des étoiles, on ne sait jamais à quoi s'attendre exactement. Parfois, nous, les commentateurs, on y va un peu de reculons. Mais moi, ça me fait du bien de voir le spectacle qu'on nous a offert ce soir, et surtout à Saint-Louis, une ville, justement, qui a besoin de cela.
Oui, et quand on a des vedettes qui jouent tels que les joueurs qui étaient là ce soir, on espère qu'il y en a une qui va sortir, qui va jouer mieux que les autres. Et c'est exactement ça qu'on a eu.
Mike, on a parlé beaucoup ce soir de Lemieux, Nasloun et compagnie, mais Luc Robitaille, il a un peu ton style.
Luc Robitaille, c'est un compteur. On a vu ça. Il a eu, je pense, 2 chances de marquer et il a marqué les 2 fois.
C'était merveilleux de voir jouer avec Denis Savard. Merci beaucoup, Michael, de ta participation. Ça fut très intéressant.
Ça m'a fait plaisir, Léon.
Merci beaucoup. Alors, nous passons maintenant au sommaire de ce match. Ce fut d'abord Dale Howard Chuck qui marquait au cours de la première période. Ensuite, Sandstrom provoquait l'égalité. Ensuite, Wayne Gretzky. C'était 2-1 à la fin de la première période. En deuxième, Gardner à 4 minutes 28, Peter Stachny à 10-08, Mario Lemieux à 11-34 et Luc Robitaille à 15-09. En troisième, Denis Savard à 5-19, Mario Lemieux à 8-07, Luc Robitaille à 16-28. Et en prolongation à 1 minute 8 secondes, Mario Lemieux. Notre prochain rendez-vous samedi soir, la visite des Whalers d'Hartford, face bien sûr aux Canadiens. Demain soir, le Canadien joue à New Jersey, jeudi soir plutôt, match présenté à la radio. Mais nous, à la soirée du hockey, donc, le prochain rendez-vous, samedi soir prochain. Prince de Galles, donc, il emporte ce soir 6-5 sur la conférence Clarence Campbell. Au nom de toute l'équipe, bonsoir de Saint-Louis.
La soirée du hockey vous a été présentée par la bière Molson, une bière qui n'est pas faite à moitié. Molson salue les vrais. Et par Esso, fournisseur des essences pas de problème pour l'hiver.
One which is just off in the Atlantic, moving towards the Maritimes. Let's look at our systems now. We'll show you exactly what we mean. We have a strong ridge of high and lots of cold, cold air covering the Canadian West today. And there you see the isobars surrounding that ridge of high. The temperatures all through this region well below the 0 mark. And in just a little while, you'll see what they're going to be tomorrow. And then you'll see a whole series of lows called Alberta Clippers, which are flying out of the Canadian West, actually coming from just up about the Queen Charlottes and following the jet stream line all along underneath the prairies towards Ontario and then off towards the Maritimes much later on. The Maritimes today had nice clear skies as a result of a bit of a ridge line which built in from northern Labrador and Quebec. Now then, let's see what we have in store for you tomorrow. If you're traveling coast to coast, Vancouver will have 10 degrees Celsius tomorrow, some cloud, and a little bit of shower activity as well. Then we get to minus 10 degrees on the other side of the Great Divide with Edmonton tomorrow, and 0 degrees expected at Calgary. Some cloud interspersed with some sun at times, but more sunshine as we move eastward into Saskatchewan, but the temperature's on the cold side, as you can see, minus 22 at Saskatoon. The same sort of thing for Regina, and Winnipeg will get to a minus 20 under sunny skies. Here's central Canada now. You'll see the ridge of high starting to advance into the northern northwestern portion of the province with those sunny skies. Minus 16 expected tomorrow at Thunder Bay. At Toronto, it'll be minus 9. A few clouds, some sunny breaks as well. Minus 12 in the nation's capital, and minus 12 as well on down at Montreal with lots of sunshine. Eastern Canada looks like this. The cloud beginning to move in, the flurry activity coming in off the Atlantic this way. Minus 5 at Fredericton, minus 2 on the coast at Halifax, minus 4 degrees at Charlottetown, and minus 6 at St. John's, Newfoundland. That's the weather coast to coast. Now, here's the forecast for your area. In the north tomorrow, a mixture of sun and cloud with a high of minus 17 to minus 20. Eastern Ontario and the Ottawa Valley will have sunny skies with a high of minus 10. In the central region, from Muskoka Parry Sound down to the Barrie, Huroney, over to Haliburton, some sun mixed at times with some cloud and a high of minus 12. In the south, for southwestern Ontario, London, Kitchener, Waterloo, sun and cloud mixture and a high of minus 9. And for Toronto, a high of minus 9 with sun and cloud as well.
And that's the world tonight. Tomorrow, coverage of the federal budget. I'm Everett Banning, sitting in for Richard Brown. Have a good night.
There's a word for the kind of power that lets you create, lets you renovate, lets you innovate. It's Craftsman Power, and our biggest selection of the year is on sale now during Sears Craftsman Power Tool Sale.
There's one thing you can do with Equal you'd never do with any other low-calorie sweetener. Taste it straight. I'd swear it was sugar, because Equal with NutraSweet is made from ingredients like those found in many foods, and it has no saccharin, no cyclamates.
This stuff's great.
Only 4 calories per packet. And tastes like sugar on just about everything, because Equal's the first low-calorie sweetener that even tastes great straight. So much like sugar, Equal tastes great straight.
You get more.
There's a word for the kind of power that lets you create, lets you renovate, lets you innovate. It's Craftsman Power, and our biggest selection of the year is on sale now during Sears Craftsman Power Tool Sale.
Live from Toronto, this is Sportsline.
Tonight, the NHL All-Stars were out in St. Louis, and a big night for Mario Lemieux in overtime. They win it, the Whales does.
The Adams division has been interesting, to say the least, so far. We'll take a look into the Sportsline crystal ball to see how it'll wrap up.
For the second year in a row, Tom Henke has to settle for less money than he thinks he's worth. The Jays win in arbitration.
NBA action tonight among the games will go over Pistons and Bulls. Detroit takes it.
And we'll surprise and delight you with our weekly installment of Sports' Wildest Moments as we present the Hebsey Awards. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mark Hebster.
And I'm Jim Taddy. Also tonight, Mitch's area reports that another day at the Maple Leaf Camp, local high schoolers have their own slam dunk competition. Latest from the Daytona 500 time trials. You'll meet Wendell Clark's brother, Kerry, and loads more tonight from Sportsline.
Tonight's trivia, name the player who, prior to Mats Naslund, held the All-Star record for most assists in one game, all right? Well, before Mats blew it open tonight, we wanted to know the guy who previously held the record. If you give us a call at 870-9157, area code 416, with the correct answer, the first correct caller who does that and gives us their name, address, and phone number wins a prize from Sportsline. Back with all the action in a tremendously exciting All-Star game in St. Louis. That and more in 60 seconds.
G'day. Nice of the fellas to invite me up to their place on the lake. Hey! All right, lads. What are we up to then?
Ice fishing.
Reckon you caught your limit. Back in Oz, the only ice you find is for chilling down your fosters. What do you do in the summer then?
Well, we come out in a boat.
Must be tricky drilling the hole.
Fosters, the golden throat charmer.
State-of-the-art televisions, video recorders, camcorders, and stereos with no down payment and interest-free. It's an interest-free shopping spree right here at the Brick.
Buy this complete Fisher 50-watt audio system for only $5.94. That's just 6 payments of only $99. Buy this early American 4-piece bedroom for only $11.88. That's just 12 payments of only $99. It's on right now. No down payment and interest-free. The interest-free shopping spree here at the Brick. And Thursday.
Welcome back to Sportsline. You like the All-Star concept?
Not at all.
Don't have much use for it either. Both Mark and I have said in this on previous editions of Sportsline, the NHL could learn quite a bit from the NBA about holding its annual All-Star break. There's no question an old-timers game should be added. There could be something along the lines of a slam dunk and three-point competition. And how about having it on a weekend? The NHL does none of this. The end result, a game that highlights the NHL's finalists, but really doesn't carry a ton of excitement, although Mario Lemieux took care of some of that tonight. The Campbell Comrades came out flying in this one. Dale Howardchuk with the big wraparound goal here, and it's 1-0. Wales Conference ties it later in the period. Mario Lemieux, who saved this hockey game, would have a big night. It's tied at 1. However, the Campbells came back again to take the lead. Gretzky takes a pass down the wing, and in rare style for him, just steps into it, lets it fly. 2-1 Campbells after 1. Wales will come back and tie it in the second period. Lemieux will steal the puck from Gary Suter, moves in at 2. The Lemieux show continues in the second period. Watch here as he sets up Pete Much. Well, what the heck, he'll take it. It's 3-2. Later in the period, Mario decides, yeah, I've set up all these guys. Let me get one myself. After a pass from Naslund, look at this play. Does the big wraparound. He's about the only guy in the NHL could score that goal. 4-2. Then in the third, with the score tied at 4, Lemieux gets his record 5th point. Comes back to tie it. However, Glenn Anderson moves in, fakes the shot. Little pass over here to Luc Robitaille. Handles it like a grenade, but rightfully so. And it's 5-all. We go to overtime. Now, you wouldn't guess who got the winner in overtime, would you? It's number 66. Oh, yeah, there he is.
How many points has he had at Gretzky now in the scoring race?
Too bad those. I mean, really, seriously. If it wasn't for Mario, it would have been a stinko game. 6-5 is the final. Lemieux gets the hat trick, and obviously he's the MVP. Third hat trick in All-Star history, which will probably be our trivia question next year at this time. Thomas Sandstrom, Peter Stastny, and Mike Gartner got singles for the Whales. And for the Campbells, Luc Robitaille got 2 singles to Gretz, Howardchuk, and Jenny Savard.
Elsewhere in hockey, the first of what some think may be a rash of trades in the next couple of weeks. Minnesota sent veteran defenseman Gordie Roberts to the Flyers in exchange for a 4th-round pick, either in 88 or 89. Roberts had 11 points in 48 games with the North Stars this year, but he was a -17. And after all the turmoil and confusion around Maple Leaf Gardens yesterday, it was rather quiet today. Once again, Harold Ballard was unavailable for comment, but Sportsline's Mitch Azaria did have a little tete-a-tete with John Brophy. As Mitch found out, Brophy chaired a meeting today that also included Leaf assistant GM Gord Stellick, scout Dick Duff, and assistant coach Gary LaRiviere.
The closed-door session lasted close to that John Brophy is held with his new brain trust, but certainly not the last. If anything important was discussed, the need for an experienced defenseman, Brophy was not about to elaborate on it.
Certainly we went over players on every team and went over some of ours, but we're not saying that we're lining up a whole group here to get traded or anything. We're just going step by step here right now and see what might be available on other teams and see what isn't.
The team is going to have to play .500 hockey to make the playoffs, according to Brophy. And there's a good chance that it's going to have to be done without Wendell Clark.
If you're asking me if I am going to see Wendell Clark back in the lineup soon, I don't think so. I think the first priority is to Wendell Clark and then make sure that he's healthy and that there's nothing permanent going to happen to his back. And then I'm sure that's the kind of steps we'll be taking.
Without Clark, the Leafs are going to have a tough hill to climb, especially if they're looking for early momentum. Their next 4 games, New Jersey and Edmonton. The only scrap of good news is that Miroslav Freacher should be back by Thursday. Mitch Azaria for Sportsline.
All right, now to the stretch run for the Adams division. Last night we went over the tight Patrick division. Tonight it's the surprising Adams division. From top to bottom, surprise is definitely the password here. The biggest surprise in hockey tops this division. Now, how many of you would have predicted the Boston Bruins would lead the Adams division at the break, let alone have the best point total in the entire league? The Bruins attack up front and the stingiest blue line in the NHL have surpassed even their own wildest dreams. In order to be in the same spot when the season ends, the Bruins need make no changes and simply come up with more of the same. They will also have to stave off what should be a gigantic charge from the Montreal Canadiens. Most thought the Habs would be wearing the Bruins skates atop the league at this time. through, they are only 1 point behind, but there are some concerns. In order for Montreal to beat out Boston, they have to get more consistent goaltending, especially from Patrick Roy. Find a replacement for tough guy Chris Nyland, who now skates with the Rangers, and break their habit of the last 3 weeks of blowing third-period leads, especially on home ice. This one's going down to the final game. As far as the rest go, they're big hockey. The return to form of goalie Tom Barrasso and the general team effort to put the Sabres in the top 10 again. Sater and general manager Jerry Meehan deserve more credit than they get. There is not one specific reason why the Sabres, that team effort should give them a third-place finish. The Hartford Whalers did the best thing on the weekend when they fired coach Jack Evans. A year ago, simply have too much talent to miss the playoffs. They don't really have to pull off any major deals. The coaching shuffle should be enough. And that brings us to Quebec. The Nords will finish where most predicted they would. Bad trades and too many coaching shuffles will do this team in. They'll be in the playoff hunt to the end, but it says here they're not going to make it.
In baseball news, the St. Louis Cardinals got some pitching help today when they acquired right-hander Jose De Leon from the White Sox in exchange for pitcher Ricky Horton, who's a left-hander, and outfielder Lance Johnson. The key to the deal was De Leon. He had an 11-12 season in Chi-Town and the ERA of 4. Elsewhere, the Oakland A's signed veteran DH Don Baylor, and the Blue Jays went to arbitration today against pitcher Tom Henke. The Sportsline's Bill Bird tells us it was good news for the Jays, but not for the Terminator.
The Blue Jays' late-season collapse can't be blamed on Tom Henke, who held up his end of the bargain with 34 saves, third best in the majors. Over the past 2 years, Henke has more strikeouts to innings pitched than any pitcher in the history of baseball. In 1987, with bonuses, Henke earned $331,000. He wanted more than $1 million from the arbitrator, but had to settle for $725,000. Contacted by phone at his home, Henke was most unhappy.
I'm not really happy with it, but I wasn't happy yesterday when I had to go to the arbitration hearing. All I asked was to be treated fairly, and I don't feel that I was. I haven't been the last 3 years.
All right, I guess the only argument the Blue Jays would have would be length of service, 2.5 years. I mean, that's the only thing on their side at this point.
If you're got 6 years in the big leagues and you're not doing the job, are they going to give you money because you've just got more time? I think performance is the biggest key. And as long as you're doing the job, and then you should get the money.
I guess what you're saying, in effect, is that when the time comes for free agency, you're going to take a long, hard look at it.
Well, I may have to even try to do something before then, because I won't be a free agent for another 3 years, and I don't want to go through this every year for 3 more years.
What other options are open to you then?
I don't know, maybe a demand to be traded.
Also said to be unhappy is Tony Fernandez, whose arbitration hearing comes up 1 week from Thursday. Through his agent, Fernandez says if his case goes to arbitration, he'll demand to be traded. If that fails, he'll file for free agency when the time comes. According to Fernandez's agent, it's all a matter of principle. Earlier, it was reported the Jays were close to reaching a settlement with their star shortstop. Also slated for arbitration next week is George Bell, who could become the Blue Jays' first $2 million man. Bill Bird for Sportsline.
Still to come tonight, the high school slam dunkers.
And we'll check out all the scores and action from a busy night in the NBA, so stay with us.
G'day. When I got the invite to this cultural bash, never thought I'd be lucky enough to find some Australian art. Foster's.
Ah, look, a masterpiece.
Sorry, mate. Private collection. Truth. What's that supposed to be?
He doesn't paint how he sees, he paints how he feels.
I think you better send him a get well card.
Foster's, the golden throat charmer.
Anybody we know them?
Well, cowboy, I think Chiclets' flavor is outside, on the candy coating. Superficial thinking, comrade. The flavor of Chiclets is in the gum. Outside, it's out here. You may be partly right, but mostly left.
Chiclets, two-flavor great, no debate.
Some people will buy any old gasoline.
Others expect more. So they go the extra mile to Texaco for the clean gasoline and competitively priced products. As well, we give you special bonuses year-round that stretch your dollar even further. Expect more from Texaco.
Who made Royal Lepage Canada's #1 name in real estate?
You know!
You did.
You know!
Because you know what our people can do.
You know! Yes, you know what our people can do for you.
So many Canadians put their trust in our professionals.
You know!
Royal Lepage sells a home every 9 minutes, every day of the year.
You know! Yes, you know that it's true. What our people can do. You know!
Royal Lepage, you made us #1.
You know what our people can do.
All right, now to the NBA, and every one of the 23 teams saw action tonight except for the New York Knicks. This is the first night of regular season action since last Friday, and our feature tilt had the Sixers against the Atlanta Hawks at the Omni. This the debut of Philly coach Jim Lynam, and he had his work cut out for him tonight against the high-flying Hawks. Good ball game. Pick it up with Philadelphia on the attack. Charles for a jam. How do you like that? 2 for Charles. Tree Rollins now on the board for Atlanta. Nice push-off there. Feeds Doc Rivers, the all-star, who finds Dominique, another all-star, who makes like Dominique always does, the human highlight film. 59-57 Hawks at the half. But back come the Sixers, and it's Barkley, 1 against 3, and he puts it up and good. 112-110 the final. Atlanta pulls it out by a deuce. Dominique had 49 points. Charles Barkley only 47. Now at the Chicago Stadium, the Bulls in Detroit. Michael Jordan not exactly on his game tonight. However, he did have some fine moments like this steal here, and then he beats Bill Laimbeer down the floor and dunks one hard. Then Jordan shows his ability to pass the ball as he will feed beautifully to Mark Brown, number 17. Look at this feed. Takes 3 guys with him. Brown puts it in. Dunkerino. Bulls led 26-16, but in the second quarter, Chicago managed only 8 points. Why? Because they couldn't shoot. Brad Sellers misses. Lane Beer outlets to Vinnie Johnson, who blows for the flying Jammarino. Pistons led by 1. Then Joe Dumars against Rory Sparrow one-on-one, and Dumars, with a beautiful move in the lane, puts it off the window, and Chicago, look at that, 89-74, Yuccarino, 20 for Michael Jordan, 17 for Bill Laimbeer. Elsewhere in overtime, Washington over New Jersey, 126-117, 34 for King, 24 for Orlando Woolridge. Dallas clobbers at Utah, 124-93. Milwaukee beat Cleveland 112-104. It was Houston by 9 over Boston despite 44 points from Larry Bird. Denver leading San Antonio in the third. Big, 93-84. Phoenix is losing at home to the Clippers. Oh, geez. And Indiana is behind the Lakers by 4. We got more scores here. Golden State by 11 over Sacramento in the Battle of California. And it is Portland leading Seattle by 9 in the second period.
All right, let's pick up on that all-star argument again. The NBA has another great idea. It's in the broadcast booth. Wouldn't you have had a better time listening to Danny Gallivan call the hockey play-by-play tonight? At the NBA game Sunday, 2 of that sport's all-time great voices described the action. More now from CNN's Fred Hickman.
They swing it around to Haynes. 3-point play is no good. Rebound by Ewing. Did he get up a mile? He got up a mile to get the rebound. He got fouled going up. The shot is good.
You know, Johnny's been around all these years. This is his first game. And, I think we're all happy for him. We really are, because now there's a guy who's paid his dues.
Magic has the ball in the front door. He's over there. Lobs it across court. Baseline to Olajuwon, who fumbles and hits him in the kneecap. Olajuwon trying to talk his way out of it. He's got as much chance of talking his way out of it as with speaking his native tongue. Look who he was arguing with, Jake.
Yeah, it was a nice mixture, Johnny Most and Chick Hearn. It was really nice. It looked like they had a good time as well.
Johnny Most and Chick Hearn. On a day when the NBA's all-star players held court in Chicago, 2 more all-stars were telling radio fans across the nation all about it. Johnny Most has been telling it like it is to Celtics fans for the last 35 seasons. He was there for every one of the Celtics' 16 titles.
Nice touch pass underneath the English from Karl Malone. A touch pass. Beautiful play.
Chick Hearn has called more than 2,000 L.A. Lakers games and has been there for all of their titles. He even has a star on Hollywood's Walk of Fame. But Sunday, on ABC's radio broadcast of the NBA All-Star Game, it was the first time these 2 from rival teams joined forces. Basketball glasnost in a way.
We're both going to learn from this, to learn the experience. That's exactly the way I feel, because
Hearn, and most are legends to their listeners, and all you have to do is listen to learn why.
They stand for a Danny Ainge or a muscle tussle for the ball. It's going to be a jump ball.
I like that, muscle tussle. I've never heard that. That's good. No, I won't use it. It's yours.
So good, it's scary indeed. What better way to describe Johnny Most and Chick Hearn, broadcast legends in their own lifetimes. Fred Hickman, CNN Sports.
Kind of sorry I didn't pick the game up on the radio. Now for something a little bit different, but a lot of fun to watch. Some of the top high school basketball stars in metropolitan Toronto got together tonight at Varsity Arena for the Gatorade Slam Dunk Contest. A look at some of these future stars in action, and a pretty good crowd tonight to watch 5 competitors who reached the final after winning qualifying dunk-offs. This is the warm-up prior to the showdown in front of a big crowd at Varsity. It turned out to be an exciting jam session. The big winner was a guy out of Cedar Brae, the Cedar Brae Colts, named Winston Turpin. Here he is, goes over 2 guys. These are high school kids. Give me a break. Great stuff. The fans love it. Second guy was the favorite, and that's Philip Dixon of Bathurst Heights in North York. Great jam there. Came up a little bit short in the point total. Third, Everton Shakespeare. Yes, Everton Shakespeare from the George Harvey Hawks. Nice jam, rose by any other name is still Everton Shakespeare. The 2 other competitors were Chris Somerville from Michael Power, an interesting, the old slam it off the floor first. That's pretty nice. And then Chris Skywalker from Martin Grove with a nice dunk. But the big winner, Winston Turpin from Cedar Brae.
Nice play by Shakespeare. Sorry. Still to come tonight from Sportsline, Wendell's brother, Kerry Clark. Stay with us.
Oh.
When the going gets tough, Canada depends on Ram Tough Dodge, on or off the road. Now with our biggest cashbacks ever, $1,500 on all full-size Dodge pickups. $750 on the new Ram 50 Extended Sports Cab. $500 on mid-size Dakota. It's 2 trucks in one. Handles like a compact, performs like a full-size. $1,500 on Dodge Raider and Ram Charger. Also, option package discounts up to $1,070. See your Team Chrysler dealer now.
You're cool. You're getting warmer. Warmer. And warmer. Now you're hot. Really hot. You've got it. A hot deal on a hot meal. A 20-piece barrel of hot Kentucky Fried Chicken with 2 500-milliliter salads and a loaf of bread for only $18.09 till February 28th. Get it while it's hot.
Other things happening tonight, a near miss at the time trials for the Daytona 500 today. Richard Petty and Bobby Hillin Jr. and a couple of NASCAR rookies got into a decent fender bender. Luckily, nobody was hurt. And in football, Dolphins have released veteran Tony Nathan.
Well, as we know, victories have been few and far between for the Maple Leafs lately, and while one youngster from Kelvington, Saskatchewan has been trying to turn the Leafs into winners, his brother is waiting in the wings, hoping to get his shot. As Ray Morrison reports, Wendell's kid brother is making some noise out of the prairies.
Perhaps no one has stepped into the National Hockey League and gained as much respect in his first couple of years as Toronto's Wendell Clark. But hockey doesn't stop there in the Clark family. Wendell's younger brother, 19-year-old Kerry, plays for the Saskatoon Blades in the Western Hockey League, the same Blades club where Wendell played his junior. The two never played on the same team, but when Wendell was with the Blades, Kerry was a member of the Regina Pats, and they did face one another in Kerry's rookie year.
It was fun playing against them because everybody had a plan to stop Wendell and a plan to stop the team. And when I was with Regina, it was a hard enough time stopping him, let alone the Blades when they came into town.
Both Clarks like the hard-hitting style of hockey, but Kerry is quick to admit that Wendell has the upper hand when it comes to ability.
Well, I think the only similarity is maybe the hitting and fighting, because I sure can't shoot like him or make plays like him, that's for sure.
Well, I think he went through a transition period now, and I think the last 3 years he's improved more in the last 3 years than a lot of guys improve in a lifetime. He's come a long ways, and he's got he's basically got a lot of determination in what he wants and where he wants to go. And the one thing is he wants to play hockey. I think that's the bottom line. And in the last 3 years, he's worked very hard to get himself to where he is now.
Kerry is a 10th-round draft pick of the New York Islanders. But his NHL future is a little less stable than Wendell's was in junior.
Well, just got to keep working hard for the season I'm here, and next year as a 20-year-old come back, have a good camp and see what happens then. I could come back here as a 20-year-old or stay in Springfield, or if I'm fortunate enough to make their team, but I got a couple years left to learn a lot of things, and I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of benefits from it. A lot more people recognize you, like they say, oh, that's Wendell Clark's brother. Like, I don't mind that at all, and it gives me recognition, and a lot of the scouts come out and watch me to play, or other people watch for me and that, and I think it's helped me out a lot.
Ray Morrison for Sportsline.
Prior to Matt Naslund, and the player who held the All-Star record for most assists in one game, Ray Bork, 4 for the Whales, and 85 Whales won the game 6-4. Stephen Boudreau is our winner tonight, and here's what he snags from Sportsline.
Tonight's prizes on Sportsline. From Nevada Bob's, the ultimate golf and racket store. These all-leather Acura tennis shoes for exceptional fit and comfort. And tennis players, Nevada Bob's has every tennis racket reduced at their lowest prices of the year during their annual clearance sale on now. Nevada Bob's, #1 for selection, #1 for price.
Pepsi wants you to see Michael Jackson live in concert in London, England. You could win a 5-day trip for 2 to exciting London in the Bad in Britain Sweepstakes from Pepsi. You and the guests will fly War Dare to London. War Dare, your choice for 8 UK destinations. Come to London, see Michael Jackson, and see how good bad can be. It's cool. The Bad in Britain Sweepstakes from Pepsi.
What are y'all playing over there?